Ray's Sports and Slams is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
Welcome. We're back at it again. Ray Sports and Slams, brought to you by the good old people over at Boink Studios. Yes, boinkstudios.com, home of the Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, Bachman's Basement, and the Patton Report. And we start every Monday with Ray Sports and Slams. We bring the thunder, we bring the heat, we bring that fire. And before I get into anything, I want to tell everybody to please like, share, and subscribe to boinkstudios.com. Please follow us on all social media outlets. Before I get started, and before this party gets started, it's not complete without my two amigos. So welcome back to the stage, Mr. Mack Garvin. What is up, sir?
What's going on, America? It's your boy Mack and Black on today, back better than ever. I just want to make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to our friends Boink Studios. Let's get it today. Yeah.
And of course, the king of data, Mr. Walter Duncan. What's up, my friend? What's up, sir?
There he is.
Hey, what's up? I was just texting you guys. What's up?
What's up? How you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm going through my Wi-Fi. It must be prehistoric. I don't know what's going on.
You sound good, dude. How you been?
I'm doing good, man. Excited to be
Good.
here.
Yes, excited. I'm excited to be here. My back's a little tired from digging 17, 18 inches of snow. But you know what? I troop it on, and we troop on. So, again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the love. All right, we're going to get right into the mix. Our first topic. I want to say maybe 3 or 4 days ago, a couple of NBA analysts were talking about who is going to be the new face of the NBA, because obviously LeBron is probably going to retire relatively soon, if this year, if not next year. And everybody's saying who's going to be the new face. A lot of people are pointing towards Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. There's other people who are saying it could be somebody else. You know, as of February, Anthony Edwards is averaging 29.5, 5 rebounds, I think a little over 3.5 assists. He's shooting almost 50% from the field, close to 40 from 3. He's got a great personality. He's got a great vibe. Other people are saying could be Shai Gilgeous. Some people say it could be Ozempiluka. Some people are saying Wemby. I'll start first. In my opinion, because of his popularity, because of his boisterous demeanor, I'm going to say it should be Ant-Man. Not because I think he's the best player. So let's everybody he's the best player. I never said he was the best player. I think he's got the best personality plus the skills. Do I think Ozempiluka right now is the best player and should win MVP? No question. However, he's not Mr. Personality. He's kind of quiet, a little reserved. Shai Gilgeous is also a little quiet, little reserved. Wemby, Mack hates him, so he's not allowed to be the face of the NBA. So at the end of the day, I think Anthony Edwards is a good choice. He's had some issues, some baby mama drama, but other than that, he's a clean-cut guy. He's not into the drugs, not into the gunplay stuff. People like him, and I have no problem passing the torch to someone like him. He's got all the tools. He's got a winning personality. He's the catalyst to that team. They're not winning without him. So absolutely. I'm going to go to you, Mack, first, and then to Walt. In your opinion, who should be the new face of the NBA?
All right. Well, full disclosure, America, we always chat about these topics, and Ray is 100% wrong. And the reason why he's wrong is that to be the face of the league, you need to be a part of the league of what they offer, which is the ultimate goal is a title as a championship. This guy is a great personality. What's wrong with Jason Tatum? Like, he got hurt. He got hurt last year. I saw a video of how he tore his ACL, and I think Coop said, he said, when your boy, the living legend of the Lakers, unfortunately has passed away. He tore his ACL as well, and then went to the free throw line, shot the free throw shots, and then walked himself out of the stadium. And then, of course, when Tatum did, he's on the floor like he's dying, but everyone deals with pain differently. Jason Tatum deserves to be the face of the league because he at least has a championship to have a conversation. Ant is an interesting guy. You're right. He's got the personality, the charisma. We can't give you charisma. You got to have that. You know what I mean? And like Kawhi Leonard has zero charisma. And that's why he don't talk, he don't do nothing. That's why he could never be. But I think Jason Tatum, but Ant-Man is an interesting place. Interesting guy. You're right. His off the court issues with a baby mom flat out paid her for 18 years up front. Everyone's like, that was a boss move. But other than that, he's got the personality. He does have the charisma, but I think Jason Tatum definitely should be the face.
All right, Walt, we have two opposing opinions. You are always the tiebreaker, so go ahead, my friend.
I'm not a tiebreaker
Either, bro.
Oh, he's not going to be a tiebreaker. He's going to be another piece of the pizza. Go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Mac, I like your argument and where you were coming from about the person who's the face of the NBA having a chip on a championship in their repertoire, right? So I think that person is somebody that we're not even considering, and I think it's Jokic, the Joker. Think about it. How many MVPs has he won? How many?
Wow.
He's a champion right now. I know it's not the popular thing because typically they're either a small forward or a guard who's the face of the league and stuff like that. But I think the Joker right now is the face of the league, followed closely behind by SGA and then maybe Ant-Man, in my opinion. Jason Tatum, he's a great player as well, but I don't know if he's like the face of the league. I think he's supremely talented. He's a superstar, but
yeah,
I think that Joker for me, based on his consistency, on everything that he brings to the game, the walking triple double. He can score. He can facilitate. He can do all those different things. And I think sometimes we forget about operate like that. He's dominant. He's dominant in every way. Is he Shaq? Nah, he's not. But I think for me, I think that you have to put and look, and who says that it has to be one guy? I know that's what we're familiar with, right?
Yeah. And it's just funny you mentioned SGA. SGA's been in the league for what,
4.5, almost 5.
Almost 5. Okay, all right. And they finally won the chip. He did something that no one else in OKC could do, and Durant could not. The Beard couldn't either. You know what I mean? And so you're making an absolute right assumption. We just speculate because of one thing he doesn't have is the charisma. He does not have the voice-to-voice piece. You know what I mean? To go on, but you're right. His game speaks for itself, and you're right, bro. Djokovic. He definitely, he's been in the league for close to 10 and, he's got some experience and you're right. MVPs help, I don't know if there's official, you are the face or if America just makes a decision that they are.
All right, but let me ask you both a question. All right.
Go ahead.
You say Joker, no denying his talent, no denying his greatness. He has a chip. He's been MVP every other year, basically, almost every year. My question to you is, I think I may have heard 6 or 7 words out of him in the last 5 years. He is quiet like your wall behind you, my friend.
Yeah.
You don't talk. He's got no personality, dude. And I think to be the face, you have to have a little personality. I think it's vital. I think you cannot do endorsements, be getting autographs and kids if you don't talk. Joker is quiet like a mouse, dude. He don't talk. He's not Mr. Personality. And remember, we're talking face. We're not saying who's MVP, who's the best player in the league. We're saying who should be the face. That's why I'm saying it's Ant-Man.
So let me ask you this, Ray. Did you think Kobe was? Because he wasn't a great talker.
He was not the face of the league.
Business on the court.
He wasn't? Kobe Bryant wasn't the face of the league.
His first year, no. Eventually, he became the face. He became much more talkative.
Okay, so why do you think he became the face of the league? Because he
started becoming a little more boisterous. He became a little more.
I know.
When Shaq left after riding his coattails, Kobe dominated and took over and said, "You know what? It's my team." and he became a little more talkative, a little more personality. Started doing videos, did a little rap album. Dude, he did a lot more. So that's a terrible example. He did.
No, I don't think. I think it's a great example.
Yes, that's a terrible example.
All right, you know what? No, like here, the only reason why I say this is because of one factor. You're right. He was in the shadows of Shaq.
Yes.
And Shaq was the face. He was Mr. Personality, bubbly personality. Everyone got along with him. But Kobe was the guy. His answer was, my work speaks for itself. And he won titles, his commitment to the game. And it's legendary about him that he was not great to his co-workers, as far as on the court, because he didn't trust their work ethic. The man was a beast, and everyone adopted the Mamba mentality. But he was not boisterous to the media.
Yes, we did.
I know. He was not boisterous to the media. So I don't think he was.
So like for me, I don't want to drag this topic on much longer, but like for me,
no, I want to drag this on. Let's go.
The face of the NBA, right? Like I think like with Jordan, right? Him being the face of the NBA, yes, he was very talkative. He had the leadership and everything, but he dominated everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like of all the players that we've named, who dominates everyone? I don't think Ant-Man dominates everybody that plays against him.
No.
Okay.
No one fears him. People feared Mike, and people respected Kobe. LeBron, but didn't fear him.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah,
all right.
You know what I mean?
Agree, all disagree. We're switching gears. We're going to hockey. Team USA, in over 46 years, has defeated Canada 2-1 in a great game. The men's hockey team won the 2026 Winter Olympics gold medal, defeating Canada 2-1. Jack Hughes scored the winning goal, I think, of like 141 of overtime left.
Of overtime, yep.
Yeah. Following the win, unfortunately, though, there was a player named Nathan McKinnon who expressed frustration with the results, telling reporters, and I quote, "You be the judge of who was the better team today." That comment highlighted the team's belief that they outplayed the Americans despite the loss. To me, they may have had more shots on goal. They may have had more saves on goal. At the end of the day, who had two, who had one? I think it's in my opinion, a little classless to be so bitter. You lost. I don't care how you lost. It wasn't like they cheated. It wasn't like the ref made a bad call. America just outgutted them. They if you're comparing it to boxing, it's like I'm tagging you all 9 rounds. In round 10, you just land a big left and knock me out. Guess what? You won. I don't care if I was dominating. Who won the fight? So to me, it's like I think it's bitter grapes for Canada. And hey, shout out to USA, dude. They did their thing. I got love. Well, I'll let you kick it off first, and then we'll go to Mac. What do you think about the victory, and what do you think about the comments made by Nathan?
I think, first of all, you hit the nail on the head there, Ray. It's classless. He's a sore loser. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it sounds like somebody pouting, after something doesn't go their way, right? And I think that's what it was with him. I think that you hit the nail on the head there, because it happens all the time in sports where one team statistically, looks like they should have won the game, but the other team hit, either more efficient, they hit the necessary shots, whatever went in their favor, and they end up winning the game, right? Like it always happens like that. So it shouldn't be a surprise to him that, this was the outcome. USA, kudos to them. It's been 46 years. I wasn't even born the last time they won. So, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it during our lifetime. And to see that, these guys did their thing, so I'm super proud of the US. And also, want to shout out the women's team as well. They took home the gold too.
Yes, kudos to them. All right, Mac, you can.
No problem. No, that was gonna be my Max facts. The women won the gold for hockey as well. They rooted the fellas on in the stands. It was great to see some young African American females. First time ever as far as being Olympic gold medalists in hockey as well. Shout outs to the ladies. And ladies, just so y'all know, Maria, I hope you were here today. I will always advocate and push for female content as well. But the one thing I will say this is one simple statement. They're going to all say their number one player, Crosby, Sidney Crosby was not available for the Olympic game as far as the gold round for Canada. So they'll complain about that too. And the bottom line answer is injuries are a part of the game. He chose to sit out because he knew he wasn't 100% and it would have been a liability versus a help on the ice. And so Crosby said, I can't go. So they'll say, oh, we have our best players. Well, that's every sport deals with that, injuries, And what I will say is this: it was great for America as a country. We came together on something pivotal that we hadn't seen in so long. And I think that's what captivated America, is more attention to it. You're right. 1980 was when the college, mind you, played Russia, and everyone talks about the Miracle on Ice. I mean, they did win the gold that year, but the game they talk about from the 80 team was against Russia.
Yes.
And that was the semifinals. That wasn't the championship to win it all. So that's the one other max factor some people forget about when they talk about the Miracle on Ice. That wasn't the championship game to win it all. But I will, but the one thing that's important to know is, like, we as Americans thrive for sports competition. We can't get enough of it. And this was the buildup because it was the pro players competing this year. And that's what made it pivotal. Like the dream team of 92, is why this conversation took place. I don't know why we've not done well years before, but what I do know is that this was the buildup and they answered the bell. So kudos to them. The Canadians, PK Subban made the comment about the championship when it came to the final. When it was overtime, they moved to 3-on-3, which is only regulated for the Olympics as far as versus hockey versus regular season competition to win the Stanley Cup. And he's like, it's 3-on-3 if it was 4-on-4 or 5-on-5. Bottom line is overtime. You guys didn't maximize your opportunity. And PK was on record when he said, who do you think is going to win? And he made this statement and said, Canada has to play ahead versus from behind to win. They're not good at coming back to victories. And of course, they did not. I mean, it was overtime, mind you, but U.S. scored first, and then Canada came in and finally scored, and that's how it moved overtime. And he was very adamant, saying they don't play well from behind. And so here we are. So, yeah.
All right. My only comment is to Nathan. I've seen baseball games where the pitchers had 15, 16, 17 strikeouts, given up one run, and has lost 1-0. I've seen games where the pitcher's team is up 1-0. He's got 17, 18 strikeouts. The ninth inning, he walks about it, and the next guy hits a 2-run home and they lose 2-1. Yes, they've been dominated the whole game, but it takes one little thing. So to me, it's like, yes, they may have had more shots on goal. They may have had more saves on goal, but at the end of the day, dude, you lost. So I feel like, take your L and just kind of, like I said, move on with it. But it is what it is. Before I get to the next topic, let me say hello to some people. We have Saucy Irish Mama. Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for watching. Mr. Maurice Jackson, what is up between winning?
Yeah.
It's tough. I agree. It should be Ant. I agree. And we have another guest, Mr. Steve Harley Jr. Thank you so much for watching, sir. I appreciate
All right, Steven. Good evening, brother. How are you?
Good. All right. Our next topic. Nice to see you, sir. Our next topic. Pat Riley has made the Los Angeles Lakers Hall of Fame. Pat Riley has a total of 9 NBA championships throughout his career as a player, assistant coach, head coach. His championships include as a player in 72, assistant coach in 1980, 5 as a head coach, 82, 85, 87, 88, and 2006, and 2 as a team executive in 2012 and 12-13.
With the Heat.
I will start. Walt can start this off. Do you feel he deserves this? Do you feel there's any bad blood with Miami, with him having a statue in LA? What are your thoughts on this? And then I'll go to Mack, and then I'll close this out.
No, this is done, tastefully. I think, he's very deserving of this. Pat Riley, he started, his dominance with the Lakers, right? And so I think that's what he's known for, especially back in the day. He's just continued that, moving to Miami and becoming winning as a coach there and a team executive. So I think is very deserving. He belongs there. If anybody feels any type of way, they're just being haters. Let's celebrate Pat Riley and be thankful that we have him at the Miami Heat. To celebrate that you have this guy who has been successful across all different levels of the game. So I think, you know, it's rightfully deserved, in my opinion.
All right, Mac, what you got?
Well, you know what I will say is this: the fact that they erected a statue of him says that he'll be eternally immortalized. There with Lakers at the the SoFi Stadium was what it's called? No,
Crypto.
the crypto.center.com. So, you know, I'm happy for the man, like, you know, flat out, because he's done something where a lot have not. He's won as a player, he's won as a coach, and won now as an executive. I don't think anyone else has that as far as resume. I mean, I know he's got 9. However, he's won on every level that the game offers. Should he be immortalized? Absolutely. Hands down. I saw the photos. A lot of the players from the Lakers showed up, you know, which they rightfully should. And there should have been other just players in general from different organizations that respect him too. Like, how about some of the Heat, you know, people come over? You know, he made he made this infamous statement with another Max Facts in reference to Riley, where he was coaching with the Lakers and told them, you need to pack one suit for the rest of this series because we're going to win. And he went through and bag checked every player to make sure they packed one suit to get this victory. And I'm like, wow, bro, that's crazy. Like, no, we're going to win. We are going to win. You don't need to pack anything else. If you're not confident, then don't get on this bus. Like, you know, and I'll give him credit that he was able to motivate people differently. It's hard to do. And when you're an executive, it's really hard because you have no control of the outcome. As at least a coach, you can plot the X's and O's on a board, you know, and then know or sense when a player's not doing well health-wise. But when you become an executive, we came with the Heat, you know, he orchestrated the whole I'm going to South Beach with LeBron. That was him. He orchestrated that, you know, and kudos to him that he was able to financial ways to do it. And so he moved into the position that the Lakers did. We're a team that people want to go to. We attract stars. Miami, as far as on the tip of Florida, we all know what life is like out there social-wise. And so he was able to bring fan excitement to this fan base here with the Miami Heat. So kudos to him, you know, and I will give nothing but praises for him. The man knows what he's doing. I mean, he's a great Fox right now. Should he finally retire? I think so. But when you have love for the game, and he was a coach and executive that was feared by others. The players knew at LA. Listen, the fact that he went to each and checked their bag to make sure you packed one, he was not joking. Yeah. So players fall in line because they believed what he could do, and he proved it on the court with them. So kudos to him, man. Nothing but praises for Pat Riley. Amazing accomplishment.
I couldn't agree with both of you more. He deserves his flowers. He's idolized in Lakerland. He's won all those championships. And to piggyback off Max Facts, this was the 1988 championship. Lakers had home court, and he said, you're taking one suit. We are not going back. We're not going back to Detroit. You're winning this in LA. And he was right. He was like, this is not happening. And he checked, like Max said. He was like, if you have another suit, get off this bus. He was not playing. Yeah. Great coach, great guy. I'm hearing some rumblings. Some of the Miami radio stations are giving him grief. It's like, why would you sell out to the Lakers? Blah blah. Dude, you gotta remember his roots, dude. Like, please, dude. Like, I think it's kind of petty that some Miami Heat executives are being upset about this. Like I said, I've heard some rumblings on some of the Miami radio stations giving him grief on the sports radio stations. That why would you accept this trophy? Why would you accept this statue? Rather, you're a Miami executive now. Blah blah blah. Like, come on, dude. Like, there's love for everybody. Like, grow up. I think it's a little silly, a little petty. And like I said, to Mac's point, give this guy his flowers. He's done it at every level. No one has done it at every level. Head coach, assistant coach, executive. He put, he put that team together with Shaq and LeBron and D Wade. Like, he's done it all. He made Showtime Lakers. So
he coined the phrase, bro.
He coined the phrase for him. For people from Miami to be petty about this, I think it says a lot. That, like, I don't know, like, you're not a real basketball fan if you're upset about it.
Would you concur? I think that the reason Miami is upset with him is because he hasn't done anything in a long time in fans' eyes, right? I'm a Heat fan. I'm from Florida, from sunny South Florida, so I understand the frustration with fans. So I think some of it is rooted in that, and I think some of the fans are maybe being emotional, you know, instead of like really just saying like, okay, yeah, Pat, you know, he's done his thing. He's the reason, you know, why Miami even has the championships that they have, the 3 that they have, right? He's the reason that they had, you know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, I think it's more an emotional thing, and the team is frustrated with the state of the team that we currently have right now. So Pat Riley did not sell out. You know, this happens a lot in the league. You see a player, you know, he may originally be drafted by one team, play there a few seasons, and then go on and have success on another team, but then he may go back to his original team and retire from that team, right? Because it's like he's like, hey, this is who drafted me, so you still have love. I think that's, you know, it's all about loyalty at the end of the day.
Okay. All right. Before we go into any more, we have our good friend Nando in the house. What's up, my
up?
friend?
What up,
Nando?
Nando?
Thank you so much for always being a loyal listener. All right, big news. Scott Forster, NBA referee, has been suspended for I want to say 7 games now. He was suspended without pay following a Lakers-Celtics game. The suspension was prompted by the following: multiple clear goaltending calls were missed during the game. The league is initiating an investigation into his performance during this specific matchup. The Lakers did lose 111-89. However, I thought the game was a lot closer, and there was a lot of horrible calls. Scott Forster, boo on you. You deserve to get suspended. You are a cheater. I don't know if you're a Celtic fan, but you were doing something a little out there, and they all caught it. So you know what I say to you? You get the big boo. You get the big boo. You got caught, and it is what it is. Mack, this guy Forster deserved this suspension, and what do you think of this?
So here's the problem. They're pointing to this guy and saying you had the capability to call other plays and you chose not to. So we're doing a deep dive investigation into your possible maybe sports betting concerns or
yes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to include that. I apologize. Yes.
Yeah. So that's the issue offhand, and unfortunately, this is one of these deals where it won't be the last time, and he won't be the last. He just got caught. Like how many times every team will tell you this? Every sports analyst will talk about you didn't notice all these shit. It happens all the time. He just got caught. And I think we mentioned this before with Chauncey Billups and all these other players. I mean, you know, Chauncey being a coach and these other players with FBI investigation with the NBA are speculating that they have 100% tangible proof that they bet on games. Now, they're going to figure out something in reference to this. Should he have been suspended? I don't know how they picked it up that quickly after the fact of the game. Normally, we don't find this stuff out until like next season or weeks later. Like, you know, so I guess if it was that blatant and obvious, he should have done a better job. But unfortunately, this won't be the last, bro. He just got caught. I mean, it's like the Bill Belichick deal with the whole Spygate and Deflategate. He got caught, and we're speculating that's why they did not, and why he was not a first-round ballot Hall of Famer, which he should have been. But cheating's cheating. You know.
All right. Well, what you got about Scott the Cheater Foster?
Scott the Cheater Foster. I think that
on
I think the NBA needed to do this. So I think that this needed to happen for him because, you know, he's been, I think, refereeing for 3 decades now, right, with the NBA. Yeah. And so I think it was a little slice of humble pie for him to say, like, hey, we're sick of your stuff. We know that you're long tenured with us. You know, he's faced scrutiny, you know, all throughout his career for, you know, controlling the games. You know, I think it might be a pride thing because he feels like, oh, it may be an ego thing, right, from his standpoint, because he may feel egotistical and like, I have all this control, I have the power in my hand. You know, I think he averaged over 2.3 more fouls than any other officials in the league, and he misses all these calls and stuff like that. And by the way, I think just looking now, he was suspended for 1 month by the NBA. So, like, you know, 30 days. So I think it's very deserving. I think they'll give him another chance because of how long, you know, tenured he's been with them. But I think he deserved this. That game yesterday, even though, you know, I think the Celtics still probably would have won the game, there were so many egregious calls that it was ridiculous. It was hard to watch. I was just like, come on, man. Like, Really? Like, what's
I
going
think
on?
to piggyback, dude, I think I'm not going to stand here and say the Lakers would have won. I think it would have been a lot closer. There were so
Yeah.
many blatant calls that he
Yes.
wasn't calling them. And I'm like, dude, come on. So yeah, dude, at the end of the day, dude, if you're going to do your dirt, dude, try to be a little, less obvious about it.
So can I ask you a question before you go to Mack? Like, do you think because he's been refereeing so long, so he was probably refereeing when Jordan was playing, right? And they used to like let a lot more stuff go. Do you think he's set in his ways, and that's why he doesn't make it as many? He misses a lot of calls because he's just like stuck in the old way of doing things.
I think because there's a gambling thing to it. I think he might have had some points behind it. He might have had money involved. Anytime there's gambling involved, there's red flags go up. If it was just, bad calls and like, are you like becoming a little senile? How you missing these calls? Or to your point, well, he's used to the old school NBA where, you could basically mug somebody, not get called. Because it was gambling, I'm really, really kind of nervous about that. And, I feel like that could be a problem. Do you agree, Mack?
Well, here's the deal. I'm going to give you some more Max facts, America. Let's not all forget about our friend Tim Donaghy. Let's remember that guy back in 2007, the scandal that rocked the NBA. And he was linked to sports before it was legal, mind you. I mean, okay, what's the word I'm going to use? DraftKings and FanDuel, unfortunately, are now entities that some of the NBA players are part of. DraftKings, LeBron's got some sponsorship or in reference with him. FanDuel is our boy Kevin Durant. So it's kind of like, but I don't think those two guys will ever do something but they're sponsors for them, But Tim Donaghy, that was flat out situation back in 2007, America. Let's not forget, it wasn't too long ago where he was the first again to get caught. And now we've got again with our boy Scotty Too Hottie Foster Roster, who's fostering the rosters for some of these teams. Now we have this issue happening again. He's not even a player, but the fact it was so blatant. And again, Tim Donaghy's situation, they found out towards the end of the season why he got suspended. This guy's the next day. Mr. Scotty is this guy might go to jail because of this. You know what I mean? And we already know what's going on with and we already know what's going on from last season. It was called Nothing But Bet. It's like this documentary that's going on now where they're putting it together with this whole situation with these current coaches and NBA players who are not stars got caught and the FBI is now involved. So we know it's all happening. It's just unfortunate. Silverman should ban this guy because who's to say he won't do it again? And now anytime their game is questionable with him as one of the refs, this is going to come up again. He cannot afford, because we got the whole tanking dilemma going on, any more bad media to the NBA. This will hurt him in the long run.
Preach.
They got to cut him. They got to suspend him, just severance pay and get rid of him, bro. 30 years. He should have been retired anyway. Preach. He can't keep running him down the court with these dudes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You're preaching to the choir, brother. You're preaching to the choir. All right, we're going to switch to the pigskin, and George Pickens is most likely going to get tagged by the Dallas Cowboys for $28 million. For those who don't know what a franchise tag is, it's a one-year guaranteed contract tender that teams use to prevent key players from leaving in free agency. It forces the player to stay for one season at a high salary, either 110 or 120% of their previous year's pay, or the average of the top 5 salaries at their position. What's bad about the tag is that, you don't get locked into a big contract. And obviously, if something happens, you get hurt, you could lose a lot of money. I will start this off. I am against this tag. I think you pay this guy his money. He proved he's an all-pro receiver. Cowboys need him desperately because you don't want to have CeeDee Lamb and the guy that painted Mack's basement as your other receiver. So because you need another quality receiver, you need to pay this guy now. Why tag him? Forced to get into a bidding war with him next year. Forced to pay him more money in a next year contract the following year. Jerry Jones hasn't learned. I'm a diehard long-term Cowboy fan, but I preach truth on this show and I preach facts. And Tagging does not work. It works if the person is probably on the tail end of their career and you think they may only have a year or two left, and you're like, you know what, let me tag him or this guy for a year because I don't know he has 2 or 3 years left anyway. So you know what, if he leaves after that, who cares? I could suck another year out of him. George Pickens is still young. He's still all pro. So I am against this. I'm a little upset that Jerry's doing this. I will go to Mack first and then to Walt. Are you for or against this tag?
I'm 100% against it. Jerry Jones loves drama. His narcissism needs it, Ray. This is the problem. Did we not learn with Micah Parsons? If this guy is franchised, Jerry knows exactly what is going to happen next year. The circus, because you're probably not going to make the playoffs again. It'll give the relevance of the Dallas Cowboys something to be heard of in the media. And we'll talk about it on our network here, as well as all the others, of why it's called drama and Jerry thrives on it. He needs it. This is a bad idea, and I'm pretty sure, Pickens is like, first of all, y'all pulled me from another team, and you brought me over. He wasn't drafted by him, like CeeDee Lamb was. Like, bro, we all saw what happened with Michael Parsons. He's gone, and we saw the reason why he went to the team that he went to, because Jerry didn't want him in the same division, and he took basically crumbs, to get rid of him. And, I'm pretty sure every player, and I will guarantee you, if Pickens, for some reason, I ain't playing next season, I'm not doing a franchise tag. I'm not playing. It'll add more to the fire, but this is bad. It's BAD written all over it. It's annoying that he does it. And I think it's on purpose just because he wants the drama.
All right, before I go to Walt, this is the rumor. He hasn't been officially tagged yet, but right now it's like 75, 80% leaning towards him getting tagged. So let me just rephrase that. I don't want to say false information on our show. So like I said, that's the rumor. That's where it's leaning, but it has been official. All right, Walt, go ahead, sir. What are your thoughts?
So it's definitely bad, but I think it's more bad for Pickens than the Cowboys, right? The Cowboys are currently over the draft by, I think, between $20 to $30 million already. So I think it's about them having control and needing to have control over their books, right? They have a good roster, especially on the offensive side. So I think it's about managing those books while not losing George Pickens, right? I think the plan is to try their best to work out a long-term deal for Pickens, but they just don't want to let this guy go into free agency, and just lose him if they tag him, like you said, right? So I think it's definitely more bad for Pickens than it is for the Cowboys, but there are rumors out there, there's news articles that I read that this might get messy because Pickens wants a long-term deal. And like you said, he's proven himself. He went out, when Lamb went out, he was balling and doing his thing last year for the Cowboys. And he's the reason why, either they won some games or kept them in the game was because of him. And you saw that they just extended Williams, right, at running back.
Yeah.
So Pickens is watching that. He's like, hey, you guys are extending people. What about your boy?
Yes. All right. My voice is, because you're the king of payroll. They are over the cap. I know they just got released the linebacker Devin Wilson, so they got $7 million saved for the cap. They are, probably 20-something million over the cap, so they have to save money. I know they're making some other cuts to bring this cap down. So financially, I hear your point, Walt. You have an excellent point, so kudos to you. But to Mack's point as well, this is going to bring drama. I don't think Pickens will sit out because he's got too much to lose. He's too young and he's in his prime. To give up a year of your prime of your career, if he was on the tail end of his career, maybe I would think about it. But because he's right now like in his prime, I think it would make sense for him to sit out. I hope they can work something out. Again, folks, this has not been officially done, but like I said, it's looking that way. I'm hoping they could sign him to a long-term deal, but I understand your point. Like I said, Walt, financially, it has to make sense for them because the rules are the rules in the NFL. You can't have $200 million over the cap. I don't care who you are. So rules are the rules. So it's like I get it. They're trying to restructure some contracts and they're making some cuts as we speak, but they could have done something. Maybe give him a long-term contract and deferred some of the money. I don't know. I'm not the payroll guru, the financial guru, but it was something they could have done. Before I go to you again, Mac, let me read some comments. Maurice says, "Hey, George Pickens."
Yes.
Steve
Pay the
says,
man.
"Not a good tag. Didn't Dallas learn this lesson already? I guess not." Oh, Maria's here. Hello, Maria. How are you?
My girl.
That's what's up.
going
What's
on,
up?
Girl?
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. So again, Mac, I'll go back to you one more time.
Yeah. So
do you understand Walt's financial perspective of this? And do you still disagree with it and say, I don't care, let this guy play?
So I understand from the standpoint, thank you for, the data, Mr. Duncan. You're right. Being over the cap, you can't do it. I remember, what was that one? Was it the early 2000s where Jerry bucked the system and got sponsorship introduced, with Pepsi, and then found another way to create a revenue stream to pay for these people, So, I think the adage is going to be this. Like, let's keep in mind, DeMarcus left for a reason. They didn't re-sign him. And he made a statement flat out when he left. Well, I know I ain't going to win a championship here, so, oh, well. And he went to the Hawks and won a chip. So I'm pretty sure DeMarcus is like, bro, don't stay around for that nonsense. He does it all the time. You saw what he did to Marcus already, right? You know what I mean? Like, let's use our common sense too. I understand what Walt is saying, but in reference to in Pickens' defense, what are you valuing more? You extended the running back versus the wide receiver, and therein lies the problem. They chose the wrong person to do it with, and that is the biggest issue. What more value can this guy offer when your number one wide receiver that you drafted gets hurt? Who they paid that man. And now Pickens is like, well, you guys brought me here. Obviously, you've seen some value, and if I balled out, you're going to pay the running back versus me? Did y'all not learn your lesson from the previous running back that y'all shelled out money for, Mr. Feed Me? I'm like, I don't understand it either. I'd be pissed. And I hope he sits. I'm doing like Michael Parsons. I ain't playing.
All right.
And if he does,
my only comment to you guys, I'm talking about my man Javonte Swing Williams, little Jodeci reference. They only gave him $24 million, so it was 8 years, 3 years, $24 million. So $8 million. There's no way George Pickens is taking $8 million a year. He's already getting taxed for $28 million.
All right.
So I understand your point. If they were going to pay, Javonte Swing that type of money, I get it. You're 100% right, Mac. But they're not going to pay him that type of money. So I get it. And just for the record, he got rid of Michael Parsons because he doesn't like his personality. He's just a big baby. That's Jerry. That's how he's just weird. But we'll move on.
Debatable.
It's time to welcome and embrace Ray's truths. What happened? What
Ray's
did Ray say last week?
receipts.
Ray's receipts are here. I got some receipts. So let's go. Number 3, Duke. That's right, folks. Can everybody listen? Can everybody hear us? Number 3, Duke defeated number 1 Michigan 68-63 in a top 3 showdown. The Thriller, led by Cameron Boozer. Is that Carlos Boozer's son? Is there any relation there?
Yes, it
That's
is.
Carlos Boozer's son.
Yes,
18 and 10. Dropped 18 and 10, a double-double. Michigan, party's over. I told you it was going to happen. Michigan's a good team. They're a scrappy little team. You ain't top 5. You ain't that team. You faced the big dogs and you got bit. You were petting your little poodle and you were all happy. And then you said, oh, wait a minute, let me pet this pit bull. And you're like, oh, why'd this pit bull bite my hand off? Because it's Duke. You played with the wrong team. You messed around, got caught. Told you so. Race receipts 1-0. Told you so. All my Duke fans, you were right. All my Michigan fans, boo de la hoo hoo hoo. Hoo 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 hoo. I told you so.
Hoo hoo ha.
Hoo hoo ha. Hee hee ha ha. With little hoo hoo ha. Matt, go ahead. What you got for me?
So listen, I was riding with Ray last week when I said, I'm like, I'm like, Michigan's relevant for this week here. Good for them. They haven't been all year. They haven't been great since the Fast Five, which I discussed our last week's podcast. But I will say this. There's this cycle that they come up with of each week this team's number one, and the only reason why is for bookies purposes. It's for FanDuel, it's for DraftKings. All these entities allow you to make place these bets. So that's why it was a relevant statement for Duke to be listed as number one. And each week it changes, and that's the irony. That's the thing that I don't like is the disparity of each week. There's a new number one dog. Bottom line is going to come down to March Madness, gentlemen, is around the corner. Next Monday, we'll begin the official. So that's why these number one rankings matter, because of the seeding. And that's why we need to know. So I get why, but Michigan as a franchise at this point has not been relevant for a long time as a franchise. But however, Duke, on the other hand, has remained relevant for the past at least solid 10 years. So kudos to Duke winning the game. It was epic, America, the thriller. It was worth it was one of those games where, like I would say with the fellas, are you watching this? Like I didn't, I should have, but
Yeah,
I'm like, it was an amazing game to see. So yeah, it's all what you wanted. It had the drama and the love of this team being number one. And are they technically a dark horse or not? And they played, and we see now that Duke came out on top. And yes, Carlos Boucher, that is his boy. That's his son. They're twin boys. Do they both play for Duke?
I think so.
Yeah, they both do.
I'm almost sure. Yeah,
they both do. All right.
Before
I go to Walt, my guess is you're going to defend Michigan. So go ahead and defend Michigan.
No, look, I'll give credit where credit is due, right? I thought that Michigan, was going to, make it a close game, and they did, right? I thought Michigan was going to pull out a close game rather, and it was a close game, but it just went in Duke's favor, right? Duke is a really good defensive team. I think they're holding their average points that an opponent score is actually 63 points. You know what I'm saying? So that's what their defense came to play, and because both of these teams usually score in the mid to high 80s, per points per game. So it was a battle for both teams. So I think both defenses showed up, and I think these teams, depending on the seeding, they meet again, and hopefully it's another classic. So I have to give credit where credit is due. I was wrong, America. I'll take my little lumps. I'm not going to be a sore loser or anything. You know what I'm saying? So Duke is good. I think that Michigan is a solid team. They should go pretty far in the dance, during the dance. Duke should go pretty far as well. I'm excited to see these two teams meet again, and hopefully get another classic.
Matt, can you lift your hand up for a second? High five. We told you you're going to lose. I told you you're going to lose. I told you. There's a lot of Michigan fans out there. High five again. I told you this was going to happen. You felt it. You all feeling yourselves. You all thought Michigan was the truth. Like Mack says, Fab Five was a long time ago. Long time ago.
Look,
Duke has the number one
It's only their
defense.
second loss. It's only their second loss.
But they played a big dog team. Duke's got the number one defense. They
play other big dog teams too, Ray.
But they played the big dog. So it's one thing to play a big dog, but this was the dog. And like I said, this was the test. You could have proved me wrong and could have shut me up and beat Duke and said, oh, you know what? You guys are legit. But nope, you didn't. You did what I told you was going to happen. Had a nice play to lose.
But Ray, you got to win. You got to win when it counts. Like, hey, this is good in the regular season. Good win for Duke.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens during the dance.
We'll see.
And just like with Dallas, they're great during the regular season, but don't do anything to make the playoffs.
Okay. Max turning on me, but that's okay. Max turning on me, that's okay. I'm used to it. He's been my friend for 1,000 years.
Listen, each week. All right, listen, March Madness. This is where Razor season be on full display. We're gonna give weekly picks of who we think's gonna win against who. So that'll be a whole.
Yes, we will. That's a whole different. Wait till March Madness, folks. Woo! Boy, oh boy. All right, we're switching gears. We're going into the boxing ring, and Floyd Mayweather is coming out of retirement at 48 years old and fighting Mike Tyson in an exhibition. And then on September 17th in Las Vegas at the Sphere is fighting Manny Pacquiao. I will start this off. This is making me nauseous. I'm about to vomit on this show. I don't know why he's doing this. Mack has brought this up that he financially needs this money. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if he just wants to fight just to prove that he's still relevant. I don't know what this is all about. Tyson is 85 years old. I don't know why he's fighting Mike Tyson. Manny Pacquiao is still in decent shape, but he's broaching 50. No one wants to see this. I know you could give me free tickets to Vegas and tickets to the Sphere. I am not going to see this. I would enjoy the free flight and the free trip to Vegas, but I'm not going to this fight. If I'm bored, maybe I'll watch the Tyson exhibition if it's free on cable, but I don't know what's going on with boxing, why they have these weird fights like this. Matt, kick it off. What do you think of this, and why is this happening?
It just comes down to bottom line, it's financial. As far as Mike's end is concerned, I do not believe this is a financial circumstance because he is very much invested into the cannabis field as far as industry. So Mike is not broke by any stretch of imagination. I do believe Floyd Mayweather, the fact that he's announcing this, and Manny also too, I think is a financial circumstance for him. When you just make all this paper, bad investment and ideas, and then you lose a lot, and then you need to maintain this lifestyle, then this is where you end up at. I think that's what's going on. America, just so you're aware, Mayweather is in his massive lawsuit with some sporting entity, whatever be the case, where he is claiming up to this
Top
point
rank,
now.
right?
Top rank, yeah. Whatever affiliation he has with it, he is now with this lawsuit claiming that he lost revenue of close to $300 million. As far as lost revenue that was not reported, it was due to him. So I think this is a 1,000% a money grab by his end. This way, being his exhibition, he will not lose his ranking as far as being an undefeated boxer. So that's all this is, America. And Mike, the fact that he's willing to do it, whatever golden goose is left, it's him. But it's sad that Mike even willing to do it, man. I'm like, why? And with Manny Pacquiao, maybe it's not working out with politics with him in his country in the Philippines, is why he's hopping in the ring too. Because they're both going to they'll both net at least $100 million out of this. Easy.
All right,
What you'll be able to work on.
What you got?
I can't believe it. It's kind of like a joke almost, right? It's just like, okay, these guys are like, is it April Fools, or are these guys pulling a fast one on us? Because after watching Tyson go against, Jake Paul, it was like, Tyson, he did not even look like a shell of himself. He looked like an old man in there. So I'm like, okay, is this just a friendly, like, sparring thing? Cool. You guys just want to spar with each other a little bit, but for it to be an actual fight, I think it's just a spectacle, right? And I think that especially, you hit the nail on the head there, Mac. I think it's purely financial. Mayweather, I think while he was retired, he had to pay $18 million tax bill while he was retired in 2024 to the IRS. And he has commercial buildings and commercial properties. I think he pays like $52,000 a year. Those things add up, right? And he's faced other tax liens. So absolutely, it's a money thing. He's a cash grab, it's a money grab. And so he's trusting that his name and notoriety is going to, allow him to, draw the millions of dollars. I don't know. I mean, maybe a lot of people may want to see them fight, but I don't think a lot of people want to see him anymore, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like,
my question to you goes, we'll go around the horn one more time. When he fights Manny, how do you see this ending? I'm going to say he beats him again because he beat him the first time. I think he beats him again decisively again because nothing's changed except they both got older. So it's not like Manny hit the fountain of youth and got younger. So now he lost when he was younger and now he's older. So if this is a legit fight, I just see him losing again, probably by decision. And it's going to be just another paycheck for both these guys. Like Max said, probably each one of them probably going to make $100 million. So who do you have in this fight if you had to pick somebody? Mac, I'll let you go first.
All right. So, I mean, with Mayweather and Tyson, I'll give it to Mayweather. I mean, youth and escapability. Manny Pacquiao, I mean, he did win the first time. What are you going to watch videotape from 20 years ago to figure out another triumphant way of kind of winning? And I say videotape on purpose, not DVD. Yeah, that's how long ago it feels, man. Like I could have picked it up from Blockbuster and rented it, you know. But I think it'll be a draw because and then they'll have some reason to get together the following year for part 3. It's ridiculous as it sounds, but
that's a nice take, bro. I appreciate that. All right, what you got, Walt?
Mayweather versus Tyson. Give it to Mayweather, just for the points that Mack made. Youth and escapability. Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather. I don't know, and I really don't care. But hey, I think it's gonna be Mayweather because look, he probably can still defend himself, and if Pacquiao can't hit him or hurt him, then it is what it is. Mayweather will probably get another win and go to 51-0 or however whatever his record is. So I don't really care.
51-0. Yeah, I don't care either, bro. All right, talking about some real boxing. Ryan Garcia defeated Mario Barros for the WBC welterweight title in dramatic fashion. He dominated that fight. But the big bad news is he's calling out Shakur Stevenson. I don't know what his management, Golden Boy Promotions has told him, but he picked the wrong dude. Devin Haney was right there in his grasp. Devin Haney's the guy he could have picked. He could have beaten, in my opinion. But for some reason, he's calling out Shakur. I'll kick this off and I'll go to Walt and I'll let Mack end this. I think that Ryan was happy to beat Mario, win a belt, get some notoriety. He's part of Golden Boy. So he was happy. Barros barely beat Manny Pacquiao. And this was 2 years ago. So Manny was probably 47, 48-ish. You beat a guy that barely beat Mack's grandfather. So I don't understand what you're so excited about. And to call out the big dog, Shakur Stevenson, who everybody's saying is the defensive genius. They say pound for pound right now. He's it, other than maybe Bud Crawford. Why would you pick this guy, dude? I think this is bad management. I know it's a big payday for you if Shakur takes this fight. Shakur's got everything to lose, nothing to gain in this fight. I wouldn't take this fight. I would stick on my plans to fight Conor Benn to make the big money. You lose to Garcia, your career's over. You're supposed to beat him. You fight Conor Benn. It's like, okay, well, he made the try, 160, fought a big dog, went to London. There's more for him to do after this. So I just feel like it's easy for Garcia to call him out when he's got everything to win and nothing to gain. Yeah. Mack, the floor is yours, my friend.
I don't have much dispute. It's basically what Ray's making a comment about. Garcia knows the next paycheck would be Shakur, and that's if he'll agree to do it. And then just like Shakur is trying to do with his situation to get in the ring with Bennett, make him have an agreement for a contract for weight. And I think it would be the same thing for Garcia. But why would Shakur? Like, bro, I'm moving up. I'm not going down. Like, you know what I mean? And again, Garcia is about 140 ballpark. Shakur is closer to 160. Well, the goal will be for him to get to 160.
Yeah, right now he's like 147.
For him to get in the ring with Conor. So it's like I don't see why Shakur would look back at this dude like, you want to do what? No, I'm not doing that. I'm looking up here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and Garcia, it would take a lot to convince him to do it. I'm like, and Shakur would be like, bro, you just got the title. Shut up. Yeah. Like, why exactly. Should I have a conversation? You just got it's not like you're the defending champ. You won. You just got the belt. No. So yeah, that's my thoughts, America.
All right. What you got, Walt?
I think Mack hit the nail on the head. I think we're all in agreement here. Like, I think that, Shakur is thinking big by trying to challenge Ben. And I think Ryan Garcia is trying to do the same thing. Like he was probably, in the moment, full of adrenaline and, those endorphins and, the dopamine hit going and stuff like that. He's like, I'm going to call out Shakur and like tell him that I want to fight and throw hands with him. And
pump my chest down.
Yeah, pump my chest up a little bit, But when he went home, he was probably like,
this is why I love this show.
It is what it is. I was just, I had to make a good show of it. But because you're absolutely right. Shakur is looking up here, and he's not going to look behind him. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to look behind him. He wants to fight the big dog. He doesn't want to go against a small fry.
Yeah.
Not trying to disrespect Ryan. Kudos to him winning the belt and everything. But come on, I think Shakur if they did by some chance get in the ring, I think Shakur, he's light work for Shakur, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
My other question to you guys: if they fought, obviously he would have to fight him at 140. So that means Shakur would have to lose weight. To Mack's point, why would you do this when you're trying to gain weight to go to 154, 160 to fight Conor Benn? There's more money for Shakur. If I'm Shakur's management, and then I'm going to throw it to Walt, and then I'll throw it to Mack. If I'm Shakur Stevens' management, I'm like, look, dude, there's so much money in fighting Conor Benn. Conor Benn's got a big mouth. He's a name. He's got the whole London crowd behind him. This is a fight that will make money on top of money on top of money. Fighting Garcia is like a dirt road that's leading nowhere. It's not going to get you anywhere. You're not going to see a big oasis with water. You're just going to run into a mirage, and it's going to be a cactus and some tumbleweed. And if he does beat him, whoopee to do. Who cares? You know, Ryan Garcia, no disrespect, great fighter, won the belt. He seems like a very good guy. But I feel like it's easy for him to call out Shakur because, like Walt said, to his credit, high five to you, my friend, he's got everything to gain. Like, I beat Shakur Stevens, and now I'm the man. But if I lose, I lost to the big dog, so what'd you expect? Yep. So if you're his management, Mack, and then, like I said, I'll throw it to you, Walt, what are you telling Shakur? What are you telling Ryan?
I would tell him flat out, if we're trying to go get Bennett, let this dude talk all he wants to. Go have a rematch with Barberis again. Go let them do what they want to do. The hype is with us. You know that we're trying to go get Conor. So leave it alone. Don't even entertain it. And he's going to try. And then Shakur's position could be this. This is what I did to get the buzz for Bennett. I know what he's trying to do, and will he want to do it or not? And then manager would be like, the answer is no. We ain't dealing with this dude. Nah, leave it alone.
I'll leave it with you.
If I was Shakur's, management, I would reach out to Ryan's management and tell him, hey, have Ryan fight the guy we just beat, and then maybe we'll talk.
Ah,
you know what I'm saying? If Ryan can beat him, then maybe we'll talk. But other than that, you got to pay the price. You got to pay the piper before you get in the ring with the king, man.
Preach, dude. Preach.
Yeah.
Right. We'll add our final buzzer. This is where you can ask us anything about anything, any comments, questions. Bring it on. Let's go. Maria says Michigan rules. They did until Saturday.
Yes.
They did until Saturday. They did it until Saturday. She's saying boxing on life support, it needs fights like this. Yes, unfortunately, you're right.
Yeah.
She's right.
They do.
She's right. She's also saying if Tyson catches Floyd, it's over. Tyson couldn't catch Jake Paul.
Maria.
If you're talking about the best defensive fighter in the world, 20 years ago, but I still think defensively, I don't think there's any shot he's going to catch Mike. Mike's going to catch him. Mike's punches are too slow at this point. I mean, no disrespect to Mike. Mike's almost 60 years old.
I was going to say he's 59.
He's like, come on, dude. Like, when I was younger, my dad could really throw a beating down on me. Well, when I'm in college, dude, I could see those punches telegraphed at that point. He's getting a little older. Like, things change. So, will you guys agree? What do you think of her comment?
No, I'm with you, Ray. You're right. He said telegraph. I can see it coming.
No, yeah, you can see it coming. But look, maybe like there's on the percentile. I think there's like a 2% chance. 98. 98% chance.
Based on Duncan's data, 2%.
Yeah, 2% chance.
Yeah. I appreciate Maria, but we're all flashing back to his heyday. But he's not. Like, the man's 59. Age has finally caught up to him,
And those punches
and he's in shape, but,
Good.
Yeah, exactly.
My man, Steve Hawley, sometimes we just need these dumb matches to keep things alive. And yeah, it's entertainment. I mean, people still think, Manny won that fight. So, I don't know. I just feel like the Tyson thing is ridiculous. The Manny's fight, it was ridiculous when it happened 20 years ago. They were both still 36. It was too old then. Now it's way too old. So I get it. And to have it at the Spear, which is beautiful at Vegas. I've been there.
They've got a great venue location. I mean, it's not going to get any better or bigger, literally bigger than that. So
and he's also talking about the Cowboys. He creates bad vibes, even if the deal eventually works folks feel better. My poor Cowboys. Oh, he's a Cowboy fan. I know why I like this guy.
Oh.
Yes, it does create bad vibes. I agree with you. You got to work this contract out, dude. Do not tag this guy. It is what it is, dude. All right, guys. Let me part ways. Let me say, first of all, to both you guys, it is an honor and a pleasure to do this show. You guys crack me up. You bring a smile on my face every Monday night. You two are hysterical. I can't thank you guys enough. You're making this show the success it is. So I will say to your face both, thank you, and I'm giving you your flowers. Mack, I'll let you say goodbye first. So
listen, America. 2 months ago, Ray asked me, he said I was on as a guest. He said, "Do you want to be a part of the show?" I'm like, sure. America, everyone needs to know, me and Ray have history. We used to do radio together, and our connection and bond with music was so seamless, and so now we're on this platform here talking about things to you all and stuff that we're passionate about and love to do. So I just want to say thank you to Ray as well, and thank you for Walt bringing that third element of comedy. I enjoy this Monday time also too. So America, we appreciate and we thank you all for joining us. And I just want to give a shout out to our loyal listeners as well. Our boy Fernando, Maria. Eric wasn't on this week. I'm not sure where he is. Make sure you are next week. I just appreciate the fact that people want to listen to what we have to say, and I'm grateful to give them as much as I can. Shout out to Boink Studios to like, share, and subscribe. Please come see us again next week, America.
Thank you, brother. All right, well, parting shots, my friend.
Look, man, I ate some humble pie today. You were right about Duke. So, but look, I'm glad to be here. Glad to be a part of this amazing team. You guys always bring the fire every Monday night, and I'm just glad to be associated with you. You both. We're going to continue to do great things. Thank you for the fans and the listeners for your continued support. Continue shouting out for us. Like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and keep us in your mind. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. All right. There's another episode in the books. Ray Sports and Slams. Again, brought to you by the good old people at Boink Studios. Please, like my friend said, like, share, subscribe, boinkstudios.com. I will see you guys next week. Thank you again for listening, and I will see you next week with more of our crazy antics. Have a good night, folks.